Let's talk about, well, how anxious you feel. How anxious do you feel today? Because it turns out an awful lot of people feel so anxious these days that they can't go to work. 250 Brits every single day are being awarded new disability benefits for anxiety since Labour came to power 14 months ago. Disability payments in total have reached a record high, with 633,000 people in this country now claiming for both anxiety and mood disorders. Well, let's talk about this with Jamie Jenkins. He's the former head of health analysis at the Office for National Statistics. Good morning to you, Jamie.
Good morning, Julia. How are you doing?
Very well. Well, I'm quite anxious today about my taxes going on all of this, to be honest with you. I'd rather they went on more useful things like, I don't know, education or defence or police officers, maybe, things that would be useful. You worked at the ONS for a number of years and you did unemployment, you covered health stats and the like. How different a scale is this than it was back in your day?
Yeah, so I think this story really started at the COVID pandemic, really, Julia. So what we've seen, if you look at the personal independence payments overall, so there's 3.8 million people in the country claiming on PIP at the moment, and it was 2.8 million in July 2021. So so it's basically gone up 1 million since that period. And if you just focus on kind of psychiatric disorders, that's gone up 50% as well. So it's around just about 993,000 back in 2021. It's gone up to 1.5 million. And what's staggering with these numbers, which is it's kind of across a lot of age groups, but you know, about 333,000 people 16 to 24 claiming these kind of benefits. What's going on, really? You know, they kind of they're already going on to a life on benefits.
Yeah, and written off, and often not written, you know, barely assessed over the phone, and then written off forever. Barely ever any checks on them. This is bad for them, bad for the economy, and bad for everybody. Because not only that they're getting these benefits, often more than you get for if you were just on the dole, but you know, you're not working, you're not paying tax, you're not doing all the other things that keeps the economy going. But often people are saying, oh, you know, for a while they're going, oh, this is all going up because of long COVID. What, we were uniquely affected in the world with long COVID? Rubbish. And then it was like, well, as a result of lockdown, and we know lockdowns did a lot of damage. And I've got friends whose children have been irredeemably, irrevocably damaged by the impact of lockdown on them at a particularly bad time in their lives. But the scale of this and the fact that it's happening only in our country, not in all the other countries that also had lockdowns, some much stricter than ours, tells us that something else is going on.
No, surely, and basically this is continuing a trend. So it's gone up a lot in the last 3 years, but you talked about the start there. Yeah. It's going up and continuing to go up. We are normalising.
Well, the Tories getting it down before 2020, though, wasn't it on its way down again? Or had people moved from backache to stress and anxiety as these things change? Because, of course, it's impossible to know for sure if someone does have anxiety.
Yeah, and that's the problem. It's the psychiatric disorders that's what's driving this increase in the numbers. Like half the increase in the overall PIP claimants have come there. And we kind of got into a point now where we're over-medicating normal life. Yeah. And this is costing the taxpayer. So the staggering number, if you're just not just looking on personal independence payments, but just more broadly, if you look at working age and children, the social security bill, that's £141 billion at the moment, Julia. That's a staggering amount of money.
Wow. Huge sums of money that we don't have, by the way.
No, and a huge amount of tax goes on that. And part of the problem I think you've got is two different government departments in chaos. So you've got the health system where waiting lists are a record number. So if you have got a genuine young person or anybody who's got a mental health issue, they might go to the GP, they'll refer them. They could be stuck there for 2 years. So the solution for the government then is for the DWP then to pay them some personal independence payments, when surely it's better for that money to be spent on the health system to fix them and get them back into employment.
And there's a very, very good record for, you know, good therapists being able to do this. You need to have the more therapists. It amazes me because, again, we've got about half the young people at university apparently seem to be studying psychology. We've got a shortage of therapists, but there we are. But this is the thing. As you say, I think the key thing you got there is we're medicalising normal human emotions. So feeling anxious, feeling worried, feeling a bit down. I don't think that everybody wakes up, you know, whatever time their alarm goes off on a Monday morning and goes, yippee, I can't wait to go to work. You know, I've got one of the best jobs in the world. I'm well paid and I've got a great family. You know, I haven't got any of those issues. And even I'm thinking sometimes on a Monday morning, oh God, here we go again. I mean, it's work, isn't it? There's a reason why they pay you to do it. It's not sitting on a beach in the Caribbean, eating chocolates and drinking champagne. That would be a great job, but no one will pay you to do that unless you're an influencer, I suppose. But so normal human emotion, people going, oh God, and then they're told, oh, I've got a mental health problem. You haven't got a mental health problem. You're just a human being.
No, totally. And remember, what was the kind of the social security benefit system put in place? It was a safety net for people who got on with life, and they've fallen on hard times, and they've gone in. Now we've kind of normalised it to the point. Yeah. Maybe, Julia, especially with these rise in the younger children, you know, going into 16 to 24, maybe we need to start building some resilience in children in school, and maybe that's a key part of the education system, so that they're not coming out thinking, I need to go on to benefits. Get them resilient training.
You might get some knockbacks. Life's not going to be perfect, and by the way, you're not brilliant. I think maybe we need to tell a lot of kids that, unfortunately. I really do think that's a part of the issue. Jamie Jenkins, thank you so much for joining us. Philip Ingham, you've got